reset luck points. You ran out, didn't you?
All right,
Yeah,
how we
that's
doing?
right. Yeah, we're all good.
Oh, episode 11. Let's have a look.
Luck points reset.
I can restore your luck points at the beginning of a session. No problem. All right, so last session. Does anybody actually know where we were?
The dog had just mauled things, hadn't it?
Yeah, at the graveyard.
So that's right. So you'd stalked out the graveyard. You'd been alerted to an incident where you'd watched a number of there'd been police helicopters and other helicopters, and I think my mouse has just died. So I can charge it and it still works. Yeah, there we go. Very weird, this mouse. It loses connectivity really regularly. Steel series, it's something. Yeah, I've never used a Steel series before. Anyway, that's beside the point. So you had stalked out the Lebanese circle and had waited to see what all the fuss was about. You'd watched what you believe to have been some, well, they appeared to be SWAT police officers descend upon the Lebanese circle, go into one of the corridors, passageways off the circle, into one of the tombs there. You heard a lot of combat. You saw at least one man get dragged away, but then gradually and eventually they came out with a stretcher. And what you had heard on the news that you were tracking was, you know, a rabid dog of some kind had attacked a couple of local dog pound people, and you. But what you saw on the stretcher as it came out was an arm flopped out, and it was just a bare human arm. And then they got taken away, and you kind of surmise that it's going to end up in Basingstoke.
Indeed.
I believe you went back to your digs, the hotel that you were staying in, and I'd done a little bit of research. And that, I think, was kind of where we left it after you'd done your research.
Yeah, I can't remember what the research was. I've got the samples that I picked up from the place. It is written as... Yeah, I can't remember what we researched. For some reason I didn't write it down.
And in the cave where they took out the dog, there was writing on the wall, wasn't there? Which was Marjorie, Brent, Heath, Freedom, Jack.
Yes.
Feed.
Yeah. I've got the number of times that they were written as well.
Yeah, 7 for Jack and 8 for Feed, 5 for Marjorie.
I've got 10 for Marjorie. 10 Marjorie, 3 Brents, 1 Heath, 5 Freedom, 7 Jack, 8 Feed.
Ah.
That digging or that information had led you to a place on or a possible location in Devon, specifically Brentor, and the church atop, which is the Church of St. Michael.
That's right, yeah.
And you'd also discovered that it sits on the St. Michael's ley line, which runs from St. Michael's Mount, amongst other places, across the country, through this area, but also through Glastonbury Tor and a bunch of other places.
We need to talk to the person that's texting us, because why are we risking our lives for this at the moment? And this is my thought today as I was walking around. It's the fact that we're not getting paid for this. We're doing this off our own back. And if it's to protect the country, then fair enough. But we need to know why. And we also need to find out who this person is on the other end of the phone.
Well, that's the problem. There's no trace of them. The email address that it comes from doesn't exist. There's no way to there's no way for us to backtrack it. Whether MI5 and MI6 can, I don't know, but it's beyond our ability. I don't think it would be a fast thing. But if I could just reply to the
questions, perhaps.
I tried to reply to the text, haven't I? I know I have the email and it didn't exist. But the text message was it from a burner phone or something? Or
Well, we don't know. It's just a text message, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's just a text message. Well, it's about 8 o'clock in the evening.
I do think it's going to be just spend the night just chillaxing, running over things in our head, or bouncing things off each other. And I mean, I'd love to go to Basingstoke or Guns Blazing and find out what the hell's going on there. I'd also like to go back to Whitby and pay that little cabin a visit with those security guards. That's later.
Yeah, I was going to say I'd like to do both of those, but I don't think we survive them. But the cabin we might. Basingstoke, I'm not so sure.
No, it's literally going guns blazing. If we do that, we're going to go in hard.
Well, do you need to go in hard?
No, good thinking. We're going as orderlies.
See, Basingstoke, I think it's going to be infiltration, whereas the cabin, just destroys it.
Shock and awe.
Yeah.
And ask him if I found my dog.
Which cabin was that?
That's a security place in for the that company in Whitby.
Okay. So 2 completely different parts of the country.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
As I said, that'd be a later thing.
You do have a third place you could investigate.
Well, we could go to the tour, but that's in Devon, isn't it?
It is in Devon.
I suppose we could still go there and have a look, but
I mean, it's better than in Dorset.
It's what? Sorry.
It's better than being in Dorset.
That's true.
How
do you feel about that, Mark? How do you fancy a road trip?
Why not? We've had plenty of them. And at the moment, this area is probably a little bit hot, you might say, with a rogue woman running around that defies death.
Yeah. Well, that was further away, wasn't it? To the west.
Yeah, but it wasn't that far away, considering how fast she moved and the fact that...
Well, that's the other thing we could do. Do we know who she was?
Yeah.
So if we can find her address, she's going to go back home, I reckon.
Possibly, if she can remember it. Because what she wrote down was the Marjorie, wasn't she?
Mm.
So she
could be heading there as well.
Technically, she's taken the memories of whatever made her. Does that mean that they've overwritten her memories, or she's still got hers?
Yeah, the memories of whatever's been enzymes, whatever been put inside her.
Yeah.
Because I'm not going along the lines of something making her.
I'm fairly sure we knew who she was. I'll find it now.
Okay.
Okay, let's head to the Quattro.
So, you're going to spend the night chilling out?
Yeah.
Yeah, set off about 6ish.
And
avoid
then
traffic.
Head to Dorset and to Brentor.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're going armed?
There's going to be stuff in the back of the car, yeah.
Don't forget, you have a couple of new weapons at hand.
Yeah, I've got a couple of carbines. We've got the shotgun. Got a Glock. Yeah, we've got quite a bit of armament, really.
You've got the shotgun.
Yeah, you've got the shotgun. I've got 2 assault carbines, though, only because we picked them both up.
And because you want to look cool with one each arm, don't you?
Why not? Nah.
I would if I could.
But there's islands that get a decent scope. Well, I've got a scope, haven't I? I've got a night vision scope.
Yep. You have a
And these pistols were silenced or suppressed, weren't they?
These pistols were suppressed. Remember, suppression in this country is illegal.
Mm.
So an assault rifle carbines.
Tell that to the government. I've been suppressed.
No, that's oppressed.
Suppressed, that's right, yeah, sorry.
Or is that impressed? I don't know.
Depressed as well.
Yeah, and depressed. Yeah, anything. Yeah, there's lots of things ending in S. Pressed.
Pissed. Yeah, so we'll take the weapons, take the camera.
If it is what they say it is, we'll take the UV lights.
Yeah. Well, I think we permanently carry around some mini UV lights.
And I've still got these worms in this bag, haven't I? In these gloves, haven't I?
Yeah. Well, they've got these samples as well, which...
We need to take those to your friend.
Well, I'm the one that can actually check these out. He can as well, but I could probably do some of these. Remember, since last time I spoke to him, we done a respec type thing, changed just type bits, and I'm now paramedic, so I've got the medical expertise as well. I just haven't got the lab.
So if you broke into a medical facility with a lab,
yeah,
I'll talk your way in.
University, they have plenty of labs.
Yeah,
that's a good idea.
Remember, you do have plenty of, well, you should have plenty of points still that you can spend on various contacts.
Yeah, I haven't changed. I haven't changed mine.
You're not really using them at the moment. They're there to add flavour to the story and to help you move things on if you need to.
Well, I've got 60 points in the journey because I got 10 free. Well, not 10 free, but yeah, 10 when I quitted.
See, mine's paying 80 at the moment. I don't know whether that's been changed since. I've got 50
80 is about half of what 150 wasn't it we started with?
Yeah, 150 you start with.
Right.
Yeah, I think we changed it. It was much higher originally, but it was probably too high. But now you can increase them as standard skill rolls, etc.
Yeah.
By the way, just increase your skill rolls by 2, everybody. Keep a track of those.
Fantastic.
Experience rolls.
Actually, how many skill rolls do you have?
Give me a second, the dog's going ballistic.
Dog's going ballistic. He wants to
Experience rolls after those. After those 2, my experience rolls are showing 5.
Okay. Now is a good time for you to choose to exercise them because we're kind of at the end of a chapter. You've sort of finished chapter 1, the Whitechapel murders.
Yeah. Well, you did say last week that we would about to start chapter 2, so.
Maybe. Have you got 5 skill rolls as well?
I've got 5 skill rolls, yeah, experience rolls.
So we have finished a chapter, which is a good point for you to exercise your right to make those skill checks if you wish.
Right, well, I'm going to be doing 2 into driving straight away because I use driving.
You mentioned something about endurance being a
endurance is worth doing because that's your tiredness roll. It is when you've been doing combat for a while, you need to make endurance rolls.
Bear in mind, you should have an increase skill, upgrade skill macro. Just select your token on the main screen. Select the skill you want to attempt to roll, and off you go.
I've got 52 in endurance at the moment. I don't know what is good in it, but I will.
Where's mine not rolling?
Is it not working?
You click on the update skill roll and then select the skill, don't you?
Yeah, and then click roll.
Rolled for me.
Oh, I've rolled privately to you for some reason.
Have you got it on private?
Yeah, I've just changed it. Can you say what that was, please? Oh, fantastic, thank you.
By the way, Mehdi, I snaffled one of your rolls by accident, so increase your rolls by another one. Because I did a test to see if it was working.
Okie dokie.
So it raises it automatically as well?
Yes.
Right.
So it raises it, it rolls the increase, makes the increase, decreases your XP rolls.
Perfect.
Nice. Both of you got nice successes there. Oh. Sam is doing well on his driving. It's definitely improved. His tactical driving has improved.
It was more because of last time I burnt through my luck points just driving from A to B.
Yeah.
Oh, actually.
Did anybody have a tick in the fumble box?
I think did you have one? If you did, you increased it by 1.
Yeah, there is a just click the button and again there's a bump by 1 checkbox option. So you can just select that.
If I did, I didn't make a note of it.
Oh, okay.
I think there were, I don't think you did. I think there were previous rolls.
Yeah, I know I did previously, but I don't remember this time. But I'm... Since we're starting to get... It's getting a bit more dangerous. I might start raising some of my combat skills, which I have not touched.
Okay, we're doing well. Look, everybody's succeeded on all their rolls so far.
Just because we rolled really low with our skills.
Yeah. It'll slow down once you get over 50. There you go, look.
I'm amazed by the 5s I'm getting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not getting...
I didn't mean to do that. Oh, what the hell, I'll keep it.
Increasing acrobatics is always useful.
I've got it now.
The only thing it doesn't tell me on this is who's made the roll.
No, it doesn't, does it? I've got 3 left.
And I'm spent.
Nice. Well, they were all successes as far as I can see.
Yeah, which is really good.
Sure what
I got a 5, a 4, a 5, a 5, 3. Oh no, that was you. You got a 3. I got another 5. 4.
They've got to be trained skills, haven't they?
Yeah. Or any general skill or trained professional skills.
I always look at it as a skill you've used or something you've
that's right.
Tried to do.
I would much prefer that, but technically that isn't in the Mythras system.
No.
But That's how the Cthulhu system generally works, and I do prefer that.
Yeah, I do too.
Most of what I've done has been perception and use computers, I think. Oh, stealth, actually. Let's take a look at myself. What's my stealth at? That definitely needs to go up, I think. Yeah, that definitely needs to go up.
Yeah, you were sneaking around as well, which is good.
Yeah.
That was a success. The points increase. Should be a success again, I would say. The points increased. No, 5 points increase. That's pretty good.
Yeah, that's the best roll so far.
Nice.
And last one. What the hell? This one I'm expecting to fail. Ooh.
Nice. So, as you kind of sit the evening of Wednesday, September the 11th, 2011, pondering over the things that you seem to have embroiled yourself in, possibly by accident, without really realizing why you've embroiled yourself in it, as you were saying. How you reflect on the things that you've learned, the things that you've gained, the experiences that you've had, and you feel a little bit more confident in some of your abilities. And beyond that, you seem to have a couple of things. You know, you have this mysterious contact, the one that you thought originally was perhaps Cassandra, who is no longer with you. There's no way she's teed up a bunch. Well, I mean, there is. Theoretically, she could have teed up a bunch of emails to you, but there's no way the emails could be very pertinent to what you are currently doing, as they seem to have been, almost like they're tracking and following your success, failure, your exploits. So you've got that. You don't know who that is, whether they're friendly, whether they're not friendly, whether it's an enemy of my enemy is my friend scenario. You don't really know. On top of that, you have Paula Teague, who appears to be Cassandra's sister, I believe.
That's right, yeah.
In Whitby, who's been doing some digging and, by her own admission, was feeding some information to her sister, who happened to run the Romanian desk in MI5. Or is it 6? I can never remember which way round it is.
No, she knew about us anyway.
There was a series of murders taking place in and around Whitechapel that seemed to coincide very clearly with the locations of Jack the Ripper's original murder spree, or certainly the main murders that were attributed to Jack the Ripper. That led you to, in all cases, or most of the cases that you could find information, to a large black dog that was seen in the area, which was then discovered in the Lebanese circle. A bunch of police SWAT, at least that's what they were dressed like, descended on the area, and as I said earlier, they retrieved what appeared to have been a man rather than a dog. However, a couple of nights earlier, or a night earlier, you had witnessed what looked like the death of a woman who had been attacked by and savaged by a dog, who was being driven in the back of a private hospital, private ambulance, to a location in Basingstoke. You'd witnessed a woman seemingly causing the van to tip over and for her to escape out into the tree line. Following and exploring the area, once again, a series of tactical soldiers. Now, that's a rubbish word, isn't it? I'll call them special ops for now. Descended in a helicopter, split up and went examining the area. You managed to take both of them down, capturing one, interrogating them a little bit away from the area, after which Sam basically put a bullet through their head and left them in a ditch. So
and we took the uniform, didn't we?
Yes. Yeah. So far, I think that would have been have been not yesterday, the day before, right? Somewhere
It was,
between
yeah.
the 5th and the 6th. So a couple of days ago. So far, what's interesting, there's been no news report. And you find, although it was a fairly remote area, you do find it odd that there would have been no news report after 48 hours.
Well, somebody would have definitely found the body where it was, because it was where the power lines were, wasn't it? And that'll be like a good popular dog walking place, I would have thought.
Absolutely.
Judging by the amount of crap on my shoes.
But there is nothing in the news to date.
No.
That instance, I'm going to say, in that instance and in the Lebanese Circle instance, there was a reference to Mary. There was a reference to St. Michael's in one and Brent in another. And putting it all together, there seems to be some kind of link to whatever these people are to Brentor, St. Michael's Church, and a tale that you discovered which talked about Marjorie of Quether. And it seems to be an old vampire tale. On top of that, your house was raided by people that seemed to be able to make the door look like it was styrofoam. You also discovered that there was some kind of drug that could be fed to these people to make them stronger or faster or both. And something to do with that seems to be linked to Whitby.
To the Eden Project.
And you keep hearing this reference to Eden. And you discovered that Eden is run by the Dukes. Was it the Dukes?
It was the Dukes, yeah.
Not of Hazard.
Yeehaw! The Dukes of Jetheth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you got one Duke's name, right? Jetheth?
Jetheth.
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 Yeah.
That's right.
Jetheth.
So, that's all the information that you kind of document and kind of doodle and spill out through the evening. The following day, you wake up early, kind of 6:30 in the morning, and is it your plan to drive over to...
Yeah, the night before, I'm going to book a B&B near Brentor. I'll probably go for something like... let's have a look. I found a nice one a minute ago. I want an inn. Yeah, the Mary Tavy Inn, and that's Mary Tavy, which is just about 4 or 5 miles away from Brentor.
Mary Tavy Inn. Let me grab my Google map. All right.
And the church, they've actually got 2 churches there, but the St. Michael's one, well, they're both active. Official parish church is St. Michael de Roop, an iconic 12th century church on top of the hill. I wonder if this person contacting us is a member of the clergy based around there.
Well, what's more worrying is a place that's called Dogs by Damon. Yeah.
Okay.
I do need to go visit this place. It's lovely.
It does look nice, yeah.
Okay, so the Mary Tavy Inn. Very nice place. Indeed. Okay, so you drive. 1 second, I just need to go and help the wife get some stuff in. So I'll be back in 5 minutes.
Okay.
I've lost where brentor was.
I'm just looking at brentorchurch.org.uk. They've got a big hot air balloon right by the church with a Jesus loves you written on it. Bright yellow.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I found HMP Dartmouth.
Interesting. You've got something here called church wardens. We're responsible for the day-to-day running of the church. Certainly general inquiry should come to us. It's a man and a woman holding almost quarter staffs. It's like they'd be very good at taking on vampires because they're nearly as tall as them and they're slightly pointed at the other end.
Right. Maybe that's what they're for.
Yeah. See, this is who's contacting us, and it's
I think our aim should be to get to B&B, get booked in, get out and get to this place as soon as possible before nightfall. Not that be superstitious or anything.
yeah, that's fine by me.
It looks like a fair old walk up to it.
Yeah. Let me just carry.
It is a literal. It's a long walk.
Yeah.
From the road.
I'm back with a donut.
Oh, winner. Just saying it's going to be a long walk to get there, so when you get there before darkness, get booked into the hotel and get back and walk up there and have a quick look around at Michael de Roop.
I would assume there'll be some way to get there because they host weddings.
Yeah, there is. It's a really long path from the main road. It's like doing cat bells as a scrambling walk.
Okay.
Well, like parking. There must be parking at the bottom of the tour, right?
Just across the road, there's a little fence that goes into somewhere, but I can't. There's people coming out of it, so there must be parking there. There's no road into it; it's just a gate. Let me go further.
But if you look,
if I go further up the road,
yeah. If you look where the church itself is, Brentor, there is a Brentor church car park, and then it's a walk just up the hill.
Yeah,
So sorry, I'm just having a look at. Let me go back to what I was looking at. I want to have a look at the. Do you know there's a place called Peter Tavy, and there's a place called Mary Tavy.
Peter and Mary Tavy has been very popular.
There's a Peter Tavy Inn. And then just a little bit further up from Peter Tavy Inn is Mary Tavy Inn.
Here we go. It says things to consider, practical considerations for weddings more than anything. Steep climb across potentially muddy terrain to reach the church, so good footwear is essential. It's usually possible to arrange a small number of lifts in 4x4s, but there is a cost implication. The landowner needs to be paid for allowing vehicles across his land.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you can never win at any church, pretty much.
Yeah, so it won't be a car park right by the church, sort of thing, by the sounds of things.
No, there isn't.
So, are you looking for separate rooms or a twin room?
We get a twin room, safe for the numbers.
Interestingly, when you phoned up, a rather nice, friendly gentleman. The name of Graham Dowdall introduces himself to you, and after listening to you, he says, "Well, I can offer you the brentor room, which we can I can turn into full-sized single beds if that would work for you, sir."
That would be absolutely fantastic, thank you.
And the name of the reservation would be?
McRae.
McRae. Excellent. Okay, well, it will be £95 per night, including breakfast.
Lovely, thank you.
Yes. And how many nights are you expecting to stay with us, sir?
Possibly just the one, but we may extend.
Okay, sir. No problem. We can definitely accommodate an extension, certainly this time of the year. So the following day, you take your drive. How far is it going to be? Roughly speaking, it's 211 miles. You go down past Basingstoke if you do it the right way. If you do it the wrong way, you go via Bristol. It's about 211. About 211 miles. It's about 4.5 hour drive. You take it steady. Leaving about 6:30 as you do. You arrive at Mary's Tavern around, let's call it 11 o'clock. It is overcast. Not too cold. Certainly typical temperatures for September. Early September, that is. Overcast, a little bit of drizzle.
Nice weather.
Yeah, fantastic. Right. So, stow bits and pieces, our usual travel kits in the rooms.
Yeah,
just usual suitcase with clothes, nothing nefarious.
Okay. And we have Mary Tavy Inn, funnily enough, on the map, right at the bottom right-hand side. It was almost as if I predicted that might be where you stayed.
Uncanny.
Actually, no, this was just a big area map that I took from Google with the tour right in the middle of the map. And it just so happens it's out far enough for you to see Mary Tavy's Inn. So looking at the local map, as you do, there's a few options. There's certainly the walking option. You could most likely walk from Mary Tavy's Inn, or certainly from Mary Tavy, either along the country lanes and get yourself up to the Tor. And there's probably a number of walks that get you across country, depending on what you want to do.
I can't see a map at the moment, so I'm supposed to.
Sorry, yeah, your screen's blank.
Is it all blank? That would be because
your token's not.
It's pitch. Yeah, there we go.
So right where your cursor was, down in that bottom right-hand corner, you can see the Mary Tavy Inn just at the very bottom on the A386.
More Gliding Society.
I don't feel like walking, to be quite honest, so I'm just going to drive to the car park.
Okay.
And walk from there.
All right. You drive to St. Michael's Church.
I just look at all the weird field signs.
I don't know, see if there was like a website for it. There must be. Yes, there
What?
is.
The church?
Yeah.
Yeah. I've got it here. brentorchurch.org.uk. That's where I was reading the potential practical considerations.
Where are the people with the pointy sticks?
Okay, the service is on a Sunday, and then Evensong.
Yeah.
Second. Okay, so services are on Sundays. It is currently a Thursday, so there's no chance of you interfering with the service. Obviously, the local priest, would be there. By the time you get over to the car park, there's probably 3 or 4 other cars there. And people are kind of milling around car parks or heading up the church, up the pathway to the church. Amongst the cars, there are probably 2 with rental car stickers on them.
Let's take a few photos of the area.
Okay.
Just as in a tourist, much as anything else.
I'm going to make a note of the registration of these cars.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can definitely make a note of the registration of the cars.
Click.
The car park looks to have space for probably 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, plus some in the middle. Probably about 30 cars at a push. I wonder. Oh, that is 2009. That is the only map available. 2009. Beautiful photo that is. What have I done? Yeah. Okay. So from where you are, as you can kind of get out and kind of look, if you look in the general direction of the car park, from the car park in the general direction where you believe, using your compass, you believe the church is, you can't actually see it from the car park. It's kind of shrouded by all these low trees and bushes. And so you kind of follow the path, heading as you do, through to the small road beyond. And then as you kind of come out of that pathway, you see the entranceway to the... Have a look. Yeah, the entranceway to the path that leads up to St. Michael de Roop Church. It is... Oh, they've changed the layout. That's interesting. It's a little bit... If you look at the 2009 map, imagine that photo. Imagine that's exactly what the weather's like. So it's a little bit overcast. It's a little bit dark. There's not a... from where you are on that little road, you're kind of stopped. You've got a little bit of shade, a little bit of darkness around you from the clouds. It has that slight eerie, oldie Englandy kind of feel as you're stood there
waiting for the mist to roll over the hill.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, mist rolls. No, not quite. That's later. It looks a bit more inviting in 2019. But you've got this view of the church atop the Tor. The Tor is this craggy kind of hilltop that seems to stand out from the terrain around it. There's a couple of Japanese tourists taking photos by the gate.
I think I speak Japanese.
And as you kind of approach the gate, the woman seems to tap the man on the arm and say something in Japanese, and the man turns and he kind of comes up to you and bows and photo me wife.
Yeah.
Church. Yes.
Yes. So I'll help him. Take the camera and take a photo.
You have photography, don't you, as a professional skill?
I don't know.
That was the Cthulhu game.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I don't
know. I can't fly.
Well, you have electronic.
Yeah, there's electronic. Well, I'm using my own camera, so camera shouldn't be hard to use. I've got used computers, camera, electronics.
Art.
Yeah, they're all.
It's up to you. You can snap some classic, okay, average, kind of acceptable touristy photos. Don't need to roll anything. Or you can spend a bit of time to actually line them up and try and give them a really, really memorable photo.
It'll be part of their life forever.
You would need to roll, and you aren't trained in electronic or art.
No.
Okay, so you just take a couple of passable photos, right? Nothing too fancy, nothing ostentatious, enough to, they'll feel good about where they've been and that they can, they can see.
Yeah.
Excellent. Okay. With a thank you, the man sort of says thank you, and then he repeats it, obviously in Japanese. I can't remember what thank you is.
Domo arigato.
Arigato, yeah. And watches as the pair of you. I presume you're just going to head up the path and make your way up the path. Technically, I can actually sort of follow the path up. Okay. So as you kind of come out from the pathway, from the road, and you kind of follow the path up, it's a well-used path. It's a little bit ragged, a little bit muddy in places, and certainly with the occasional showers that have been coming through in the last 24 hours, that mud is a little bit worse. There were 2 or 3 other groups of people kind of pausing at various parts of the pathway up, taking photos and generally chatting and stuff. And by now it's sort of, I think it's going to be, what is it? Yeah, by now it's sort of 10, 15 minutes past 11. So it's getting towards lunchtime, but it's not too, you're not really that hungry. So it's not a major problem. You continue to wind your way up, and eventually as you kind of, I'm just looking at, just as you get to the top, there's a couple of photo spots where you can actually look out from those spots. One of them's by Peter Stevens Photography 2017. Obviously it's a little bit earlier, but it gives you a sense of the view.
That is beautiful, isn't it?
And you can, behind you, as you pause for a second, as you've come up this pathway, and before you continue up to the church itself, you can look out and you can see the whole of this part of the world, and like you say, the autumnal colours that are just starting to peek through look absolutely stunning, and you've got a commanding view of the valley in front of you.
And I can also see the dramatic clouds rolling in.
And the dramatic clouds rolling in, yes. And then behind you, atop of the tor, you can now see the really good view of what this church looks like. And then continuing as you do so, you get to the very top, and as you get to sort of that top, as a path comes round, and you can see the first thing you notice at the very top. Oh no, I've gone inside. Oh, it's tiny.
Yeah.
I never clicked on the inside for some reason. There is a what appears to be an old stone pathway that kind of, it doesn't circle like a pure circle, but it certainly rings the outside of the church all the way around. It appears to be made of old stones laid out, a little bit of very old cement or mortar or something kind of keeping them all together. But kind of clearly it's a pathway that allows you to kind of wander around. If you see there's one that leads up to the bench, and as you keep following that path around, it sort of runs from the back. So it kind of goes past, there's a little bit of a guardrail, and then there's a small sort of old graveyard with maybe a half dozen gravestones and an old kind of grave casket visible. But the path itself rings itself round to the side or the rear door of the church. And the main entrance stands open and welcoming.
I'd like to have a look at some of the names on these graves. See if there's any Marjories.
Good.
That's a good idea.
The graves are in various states of repair and just general sorts of repair and the ability to read them. From what you can tell, there doesn't appear to be a Marjorie listed.
Any writings on the wall, like they've got not so much plaques. Well, it's effectively a plaque, isn't it, with the names of people that were buried in crypts or whatever that might be underneath the church.
Yep.
Anything like that that has some names on that might be predecessors, like Marjorie.
There is, but there's nothing that references a Marjorie.
Anything from around that time? What year was it that Marjorie Crethor?
18 something or other, 1812ish. Might be wrong, but I think about that sort of time.
A name similar type of thing, because she must have been known as something else.
I've got a Marjorie on this plaque in the church.
Is there?
No. But I try to see your reaction.
I was going to say, can you read it? Percival Rowe and something. Born, looks like 19 something, doesn't it? Or 1601.
Is it the bronze and red one?
Yeah, I can't really read those. The plaques on the wall. There's nothing really from that date or that time period.
In there.
By which I take it you've kind of gone inside.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Every time I drop on the church, it puts me outside. It won't let me actually see inside there. It did earlier, but it won't now.
Let's assume. Okay. So as you kind of looking at the things inside, there's a couple of other tourists in here. An elderly gentleman, greying hair, wearing the traditional kind of vestments of a priest, kind of comes over. There's no way he can really hide, is there? I mean, there's probably a small side chamber where he can kind of come
between the pews, and he just pops up. Hello.
Yeah, there's a secret passage underneath.
The pew close to the thing, that takes you to a strange location.
Yeah,
I remember it well. he kind of he comes over and he. Well, actually, when you go in, you'll notice that he's talking to an elderly couple and he's kind of pointing to a couple of things, and you can hear him sort of say, "Through here are the bells."
He doesn't say, "Do you have any small children I can look after?" It's awfully quiet up here sometimes.
Oh, the bells are at the back, aren't they? Huh. So he's pointing to that area at the back and saying, "This is the bells," and you can see the bell ropes and stuff. And he's talking through about the different sizes of the bells and the weight and the age and stuff like that. And as they kind of thank him and they sign the visitor's book, and then they kind of meander out, taking a couple more photos. He turns his attention to you, and gentlemen.
Hello. Have you worked here long?
I've been here for I got my calling let's have a look. Is it the actual, when did he, you can't click on them to find a biog about them, so I don't know how long he's been there. Let's assume he's always been there. A slightly, probably 13-year younger looking Matt Godfrey, the Reverend Matt Godfrey, and he says, "Gentlemen, yes, I'm Reverend Godfrey. I've been here, my calling, as part of about 10 years now. What brings you? Just tourists, sightseeing?
Researching, to be quite honest.
Researching? Oh, okay.
When he came over to us, was there any look of recognition?
No.
Right, okay. I'm clutching at straws as to who the hell this person sending me is. It's going to be absolutely anybody now.
What does the name Marjorie have to do with this church?
You've read the story then, have you, sir? Is that what your research is about?
No, we found some writing on a wall.
Found some writings on a wall?
Yes, it said Marjorie Brent. Let me go through the
Brent Heath.
I was going back to the original in the caravan.
Oh, right. Marjorie St. Michael's. That's all it said.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Some crazy person had written in blood on a wall, Marjorie St. Michael's. I'm sorry if this is a bit deep, but we're investigating something at the moment.
The police?
Okay, we're linked with the police, yes.
Oh.
We're sort of outside help, researchers.
And you think it's, this person is linked to the church?
Well, it seems a very random thing for it to appear and then to appear somewhere else by a completely different person, the same sort of names. Marjorie, Brent, Freedom, Jack, feed. Does that mean anything to you, sir?
I'm sorry, could you... What? That just seems like a random bunch of words to me.
It does, doesn't it? But the ones that match up are the Marjorie and the brentor. Or the Brent.
Yes, Marjorie of Quether is an interesting tale. We get a few enthusiasts, shall we say, who take a visit to the church to look at and he kind of gestures to the area at the back where the bells are. And I forget what it's got, what the name is, but he calls it the right name.
Belfry.
The Belfry, yeah, that's probably it. I don't know if it is the Belfry, but hey ho.
That's the Belfry. That's Belfry's the top part, isn't it? Anyway, yeah.
Where the let's have a look. I need to know the name now. The bell tower. I mean, that's just ridiculous, isn't it? And the belfry is where they hang the ropes. Yes.
Yeah.
Where they hang them. Okay. That's fair enough. Okay, so yeah, he yes, many people come to. Well, we have a few enthusiasts who like to view the supposed place where Marjorie of Quether made her first appearance.
I'll have a notebook and I will be writing this down in a studious sort of policeman style way.
Yeah. And as you can see, this particular rope here, and attached obviously to a much newer bell than the one that would have been in situ in the early 1800s, of course, is the very rope that Marjorie is supposed to have kind of climbed down and visited the bell ringer. And yes, this is all where it happened.
Allegedly.
Allegedly, of course, yes. Yeah.
Was there ever a real person called Marjorie?
Well, I'm sure there would have been.
Would there be records, birth, death records?
Things, take the good book, and at that point he puts his hand on a Bible nearby.
What, for free?
There are those who believe that this is not a direct, this is not a true representation of events at the time, but I genuinely believe that tales and books always have a grounding in the truth.
Well, yes, I believe the same thing, to be quite honest. That's many things come out of fables and stories.
Yes, absolutely. You said you were working for the police, yes?
Well, not for them, but with them.
Oh, sorry. His name is Father Lawrence Buchanan. Well, yes, I have to say, I think in this instance, though, I didn't catch your name.
Sam McRae.
Mr. McRae. Mr. McRae, I believe in this instance specifically that the tale Marjorie of Quether is most likely a falsehood. There may have been something that happened here at the time. I believe that there was, as we often do, even now, we are regularly plagued by a pack of rabid wolves that roam on the Tor and the lands nearby. If you ask any farmers, they tend to lock up their cattle and their livestock, especially during full or gibbous moons. Some claim that they're hellhounds, big black creatures with the fire of hell in their eyes, but I think that's just a tale to frighten people. Like I said, there is truth in the tale. The tale is probably more like I believe, and that is a pack of rabid wolves that the local authorities have not been able to capture, that is roaming the moors, and particularly they spend a lot of time roaming at night time. I myself have been here on at least one gibbous moon where I've heard the barking and the baying of the wolves.
Really?
Yes. Definitely.
How many are rumoured to be about?
5, 6, I believe.
You'd have thought that the local game warden would have done something about them.
Well, that is the odd thing. They just, all attempts to find them have been met with no success.
And just out of interest, when is the next gibbous moon?
When is the next gibbous moon?
It's tonight.
No. 13th so the next full moon. So tonight is a waxing gibbous moon.
Well, that's a surprise.
And the full moon is the 13th.
Gosh. Well, slap my thigh and call me Twinkle.
That was purely coincidence, by the way.
Right.
I didn't know quite how long you would take to get to here, so you were either going to have missed it or not.
So, chances are these wolves will be out and about tonight.
If what he's saying is correct, yes. If they come out during gibbous moons or full moons, they will be out between now and probably the... Well, actually, I can tell you because I've got it in my notes. The waning gibbous is 13th to the 19th, and the full moon is... Yeah, so you are on a waxing up to a waning, so the next 2 weeks, effectively, or week and a half, you would expect to have them roaming the area.
Awesome. I'm going to come back at night time with a gun.
Yeah.
And a barbecue.
They mostly come out at night.
Mostly.
At that point, the Japanese couple kind of make it coming inside, and they bow to the priest, and he bows back. And goes, it says, excuse me?
Certainly, just before you go though, sir, are there any registered birth and death registers around we can look at?
Not in public.
Where would they be?
There would be in the private priest's chambers.
And we wouldn't be able to see them, I take it?
No, you would need to ask permission or break in and have a gander when he's not here.
That sounds like a reasonable plan, since all churches are open all the time.
Yeah.
Allegedly.
Not sure that's strictly true.
No.
I think big ones are in cities, but I'm not sure. Here, you would expect it to be open 24/7.
No, the church in the village where I go, it's closed.
Yeah.
Because they don't have a bloody letterbox.
And it's a pain in the backside when they get letters to the local Satanists, right?
Yep, you got it.
Yeah. Okay. He's merrily talking slowly and quietly to the two Japanese. The man seems to have the better understanding of English, although his English is broken, and he keeps repeating things to the lady in Japanese.
It would be funny if Japanese people talk louder and said the same word like English people do.
Yeah, do you understand the words to coming out of my mouth?
Yeah. Right, I'm going to take Mark outside.
Okay, and give him a right good spank.
Well, when you're in a church, why not pass it up? When in Rome and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Get the hip flask out as we go past the font and scoop up some holy water.
I'll do that later on.
Is that what you ought to do?
No. We're going to come back at night time, Mark.
Okay.
If we can get up that side of that church to the top on the tower, do you reckon that'd be a nice scoping spot to see if these wolves come back tonight?
Should be. How big are the moors around this is going to cover? Because it's going to be miles, I would assume.
Well, if they're coming to this place, though.
Yeah.
I mean, we should be able to hear howls.
Yeah.
So maybe we'll be able to use that seat to get purchase and get up. You can give a Jimmy up to that next level, and then go up to that next level of the walls to the roof. Or we can pick up a grappling and rope from the local grappling and rope shop.
Oh, we're about to have a rope with us, but grapple maybe not.
But we can make something, can't we?
Yeah.
But how do you feel about that? And then,
that sounds fine.
And while you're up there looking, I can go inside and have a look at this register book, the births and deaths. So I want to know if there's a bit of truth in these stories.
Did we pick up any voice con type things? I can't remember whether on our shopping trip whether we got
What, headsets?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, we'd get that Bluetooth earpieces, wouldn't we? and just use phones to talk to each other.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, you can definitely do that. You've got...
Not that they can hack them in this day and age. News of the world, I hope you're listening.
Okay.
Yeah, you take my camera and it'll make it easier to get some background on that, and if you need to see what's out there as well, you've got the scope on it.
Give me one sec.
Got your lockpicks, have you? So if we have to go in through the inside into the belfry, we can do, can't we?
I know it's about
you got lockpicking.
20 past 12, and there is a rare moment of sunshine that's broken through, casting a beautiful kind of sunlit view over where you are, down across the valley towards the River Burn. If you look that way, or down past, you can see the road and all the other bits and pieces from where you are. Essentially, it's a beautiful place. The bench just outside, the old couple that were previously talking to the pastor, to the reverend. I'm probably mixing my religions up here, and I'm sure somebody will get annoyed at some point. They're sat there eating their sandwiches,
as they do. Egg and cress. Oh yeah.
Egg and cress. With their little bottles of water,
which isn't really water.
Packet of quavers.
No, plain, ready salted Walkers.
Well,
and then the husband will secretly put a crisp inside his egg and crisp sandwich.
Yes.
Was it Walkers or was it Golden back then?
There you go.
Was it Walkers or was it Golden Wonder back then?
Walkers 2011. It'd still be Walkers in 2011, I would have thought.
It's always been Walkers.
It was Golden Wonder when I grew up and then switched to Walkers.
As you kind of walk the circle again, the old man kind of nods at you and waves his egg and cress sandwich in sort of a jolly hello to you.
I'm being careful to stay out of the sunlight in case I burst into fire.
Okay.
I'm surprised you didn't burn into fire walking into the church.
Yeah, things I've done. I'm just going to go over to... I can't ping it, but I'm going to go to the edge and look over. It's a very steep drop down, isn't it?
It is on one end, yeah. Yeah. Sort of that back end, so if you look at the main map, so sort of north, south, east, west, the western end appears to be, very steep drop down.
It's almost like it's a defensible fort than anything else.
Yeah.
Church.
And they very kindly put a little railing up the back there to stop you from falling over and hurting yourself.
Oh, so kids can swing on it from the other side, as they do.
Look at the 2017 map, you get a sense of what it's like in the sunshine. Again, sorry, 2017 picture, Peter Stevens photography. You get a sense of what it looks like in the sunshine, and yeah, the view is great. You can see the road at the bottom running southwards, the other road.
Right, so yes, let's head back down.
Okay.
Get something to eat and then prep for tonight.
All right, get something to eat and prep for the night.
Oh, actually, getting on top of the church is easy. They've actually got drain pipes set up both sides of it.
Oh yeah. Unless they're plastic ones. Yeah, they won't be.
They look metal.
And the side with the white one has got a lovely little thing carved at the wall with hooks on it.
Yeah.
You can hook a rope over and climb up.
Yeah, the window in the tower is barred. Actually, it's more of a grill.
A bar and grill.
I
wonder if there's any sort of symbolism to the path going all the way around the church. It's almost like a salt circle.
Could be tied to the ley lines in some way. I wonder what's all the ornamental...
The white cross things?
Symbols. Yeah.
It's all the missing jigsaw pieces from people's boxes. This is where they go.
But they're all the same shape.
Yeah, it's always the ones you miss, isn't it? That bloody one with the 5 holes, or the 4 holes, sorry.
All right, you head back down to your car. Any idea where you're going to go and get food from?
Go back to Tavi.
To Tavi?
I'm sure there'll be a pub there that sells pub food.
Well, Mary Tavi Inn is a pub that sells pub food.
There we go. I wonder why I chose it.
I wonder why you chose it. So, you get back there. You get back to Mary Tavi, probably sort of 20-minute drive as it is, gets you closer to 1 o'clock. By the time you sit down, you order food, it's just after 1 o'clock. And it's quite quiet in here. There's not a lot of people. There's a couple of people, but nothing specific that kind of catches your attention. Nobody's paying attention to you. Nobody seems to have, decided that you're not who you are.
I will be keeping a lookout for any faces I sort of recognise, or people who are taking interest in us.
Yeah.
Okay. You can certainly do that. There doesn't appear to be anybody who is sort of looking at you in a way that makes you feel uncomfortable.
That sort of sheepish, I'm looking at you at the corner of my eye sort of look.
I mean, there's probably a couple of locals in here that are curious as to who you are, but equally, you're in a tavern, you're in an inn, that in an area that does attract tourists.
Yeah.
You're not really out of place. Just a couple of people that you would take to be locals kind of seem to, give you that casual once over, hello, who are you? And then kind of...
A sort of thing where if we say we're off up to the church, they'll go, don't stray off the path.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, nobody's... Look out for anyone that seems to have military bearing about them, like they've been trained by the military. They'll stand certain ways, or just think from the spec ops there, so pretending to be the police.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. You can do that. Give me perception rolls. So Zed not paying any attention to what you're doing because you're doing something else. Okay.
Nice success.
Well,
just missed that crit.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you can't even roll the re-roll.
Nudge it by 1.
Reverse the roll, can you? Won't make any difference.
I could.
You could.
Yeah, you could.
Do I want to spend a luck point? No, I'm going to let it slide. I think you've done very well.
Okay.
You're more used to this sort of thing. I'm more used to breaking into things.
There are two people stood at the bar. You're currently sat down, maybe a couple of tables away from the bar, sort of in one of the window areas. You're currently eating your lunch, whatever it may be, pie, gammon, farmers,
surf and turf.
You know,
Gammon
haddock
sounds good.
and chips, whatever it is you've ordered, curry, you know, the usual kind of British pub fare. The two guys at the bar who are they're not paying any attention to you, right? They're not interested in you at all. They're just wearing sort of jeans, walking boots, jacket. Actually, they're kind of like they're like a downy jacket, a sort of a camouflagey coloured downy jacket is hung over sat on the bar stool where they are, and they're just generally chatting. But Mark, you get the sense, and to be fair, so do you, Sam, that at least one of them has had military training in their life.
Just slightly louder. I'm going to say the words. So, what do you think of Basingstoke? And just loudness so they can hear it.
Okay.
Might as well go fishing.
No reaction from them. They just continue to drink.
Okay. It's worth a shot.
Absolutely worth a shot. But after maybe 10 more minutes, they down their pints. They both say, "See ya." You hear the barman go, "And you, Charlie, have a great day." And the two of them pick up their jackets and kind of just walk out. As they do so, casual glance. Both of you give me perception. No, hang on, not perception. Let's do this differently.
Yeah, while they're moving, I want to see if they look like they're armed in any way as well. Any bulges, anyway.
Do either of you have insight?
We should all have insight.
It's a standard one. Insight.
It's a really pants standard one.
Say again?
It's a really rubbish standard. Oh no, it's brilliant.
Yeah, I can't do anything about that, but from a reroll. Yeah, I'll do a reroll. What the hell? Points down.
Nice.
Nice. Okay. Both of you note that the one identified as Charlie, who's probably the closest to you as they're walking out through the door, his eyes linger on the pair of you for probably 1-2 seconds longer than you would expect him to. But he's trying very hard to make it look like just a casual glance around the room. But his eyes are focused on the two of you.
Is there a window where they're going?
Yeah. Glance out the window. A black Toyota Hilux. Open cab at the back. The kind of place that, many foreign, I want to say terrorists, but they're not all terrorists, but, many a foreign military and paramilitary army have mounted LMGs on the back of those things.
Yeah. Or shot random AK-47s up in the air.
But you watch as both of them get in. To your question, you didn't notice any weaponry on them.
Okay.
They weren't packing, there weren't bulges or anything to suggest that, certainly that they suggest they had firearms on them.
Yeah,
There wasn't anything on the hips or the belts to suggest they had knives on them, but equally, you couldn't tell. I mean, to say they might have had one strapped somewhere, possible.
Yeah.
And the Hilux just drives off. From where it is, you will watch it go south down the A386. And then very quickly, it's out of view.
Yeah.
Do we get a chance to make a note of the license plate to recognise that again as much as anything else? Even partial, just to see whether or not, if we see another black Hilux, will we recognise it as the same truck?
Funnily enough, there's a Toyota Hilux 2011 D4D for sale in Pakistan.
No.
One careful owner.
No.
Optional extras. Squad light.
That's brilliant.
You do make a note. Yes, you do catch the registration plate. It is going to be a. Let's have a look. GV. Let's call it GV56 NVK. So it would be a 2006 to March 2007 model. So approximately 4 years old.
Mark, why don't you go to the bar and see, say, you think you might know Charlie? Is he ex-military? See if the barman will give up any information.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I'll go to the bar and ask if they live around here.
Barman kind of looks at you. Oh, Charlie and Ian?
Yeah, he looks familiar, Charlie does. I'm just wondering whether he was in the military at all? Looks familiar from there.
Yeah, I think he served a tour in Afghanistan. Right at the beginning, came back. Never quite the same in the head. Seems to have a decent job though now. I think he's working as a farmhand.
Okay, so he's from around here then. Before he served.
Yeah. Born in Peter Tavy.
Okay. Yeah, I've got a nagging feeling I know him. What's his surname? You know?
No, I don't really know his surname. Sorry.
Okay. Oh, that's fine. It's one of those things that's, you know, when you see someone and you think, do I know him or does he just look like someone I know? It's one of those things.
You ex-military then, sir?
Yeah. Paramedic.
Ah.
So, may have run across him at some points, but I'll keep thinking about it. Thanks.
Well, he was as far as I know, he was in Helmand, 2006-07.
Okay.
Came back. Yeah, came back late 2007, 2008. Didn't really see him. Arrived back here maybe 18 months ago.
Okay, so
So he got
a lot
himself
of that's farm, how do you say? A lot of farms around here.
There's a few out on the yeah, there's a few.
I might run across them again while we're here. We're only here for a few days, so well,
Oh look,
we're
he
not
might
sure
be
yet.
in tonight. If he's in tonight, do you want me to let him know you're here?
No, let me think about it. See if I can remember where I know him from.
All right. No problem.
Yeah, if I see him, I'll approach him. But I don't want him thinking about us both thinking, do we know each other? But
Yeah, of course. Same
yeah.
again.
Yes, please.
He pours a couple of drinks, and you take them back and sit down and continue to drink. At that point, let's take a 15-minute break.
Farmhand, I wonder if he's looking after any wolves. No.
Oh, what's happening in the football? Anybody know?
No idea. Not been following it.
1-0 to Spain, 0-0 to Italy, Croatia. Okay. All right, are we back, Mr. Mehdi?
We're good.
All right, back to you, gentlemen. I'm just fiddling with stats in game. Do you know what stats means?
Oh no.
Fights.
Right. So we're going to wait till about 8 o'clock-ish when it starts to get a bit darker. Go out in the car. Go to the car park. Equip up. And then head to the church.
Okay.
The night vision goggles,
Pistol.
rifle camera.
Lock picking equipment.
Yeah, I can't do lock picking anymore.
You'll find it if I can.
I could before I became a paramedic, but
That was a different life back then.
yeah, I don't remember the other life very much.
No. UV lights. I want to take a small focus torch because I'm going to be looking at the. I want to get into the main quarters where the book is kept for the births and deaths.
Okay. No problem.
Can you read with low light goggles?
Probably not, because there's no.
It's not that ambient light source, is it? It's got no.
You need a light source to be able to see things like that.
And if memory, is that the green one?
Low light is, yeah.
Yeah.
Not infrared.
It's the one with the built-in sort of batch operated thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Just a random thought came to mind, then whether you can read or not.
I can put letters together.
You're just going to potter around the area until night time, yeah?
Yeah.
Darkness falls about 7:30.
Okay.
It's about 10-minute drive.
Okay. As we're approaching, check if there's any lights on up there. It's going dark. We'll be able to see whether or not there's anyone home with the lights.
All right. So you're going to arrive. You're going to arrive just after 7:30 or a bit later.
Yeah. Well, I want to arrive with my lights off into the car park. See if there's any cars there still.
Okay. All right. So you make it for you kind of pull up into the car park about 7:35, just as the darkness is starting to fall. Beyond that, it's crazy outside my house. I keep hearing all the swifts and the baby swifts sweeping down the road, squeaking. It keeps putting me off. The car park is empty. There's no cars in it whatsoever. There's only your car park. In fact, I need to have a double check. Is the car park open? Is it gated?
That's one thing I was worried about.
Look to be gated. No, it is not gated, which means you can just literally drive in. There is a gate the other side, but that's more the little fence, and you can quite easily climb over that. That's not a problem. So you can pull your car in. You can get yourself car sort of parked dart into one of the corners as much as possible. Kind of reverse it in so that you can pull out quickly should you feel the need or the urge to do so. And then you kind of take the road out, and the path up to the church is gated and is locked.
Oh no.
Yes, if you look at it, there is a lock on the gate.
On
but
that,
again,
on that 3-foot gate.
Apart from the, let's just have a quick look. Yeah, actually, the toilet block is hidden from view. There are no other cars, and you can obviously spot any headlights coming either way. So, it's very quiet at this time of night. It's dark, it's quiet. You can hear the odd sound of owls hooting in the trees around you. Beyond that, nothing. You get yourself up over the fence and you kind of retrace your steps heading back up to the top of the church.
Any light on at the church?
Church is quiet. There is no light.
Any sound of these so-called wolves yet?
No.
Okay.
The main door that you entered is now closed. There is a small, well, it's not small actually, it'd be quite a big keyhole in the door for quite a large key.
I don't really need a lockpick. I'm just going to climb inside the keyhole and just push the tumblers myself.
Yeah. At this point, it's probably just after 8 o'clock.
Yeah, let's get in as quickly as possible.
Yeah.
You get yourself up onto the top roof if you can.
Yep.
Give me an acrobatics.
There is an athletics as well.
Athletics. Give me athletics. Sorry.
I was going to say acrobatics, a professional
Doesn't
one.
exist. That's D&D. Well, athletics is a professional skill. Okay, 36. All right, standard success. Okay, so you can get yourself up to the first tier. There is still the bell tower kind of reaching probably a couple more stories above you. But up here on the roof, there are some crenellations and areas that you can effectively sort of, you could hide behind. Or you can attempt to kind of use the rough stone and try and climb yourself up to the top of the tower.
On the back of the tower, there's a drain pipe.
Yep.
But, so I'll use that as much as I can.
Okay.
So
Give me
not put all my weight on it.
Give me another athletics roll.
Assassin's Creed style, just don't do a point of interest at the top and dive off.
Oh, very nice. You got hard, which is what I needed. Okay, so the reason it's hard is more because you are. 1 second. I just got to let my son in.
Yeah, you need to set up a big pile of hay at the bottom for when I come down.
Yeah.
So you use a drain pipe, but you use it very carefully so as not to pull it off the wall. Obviously, you're trying to minimize damage as much as possible, and you manage to get yourself up onto that top of the tower. The view from up here is amazing. You can see out. You can orientate yourself in such a way that you can most probably see the lights of Mary Tava out in the distance. About 4 miles. Probably 4 miles by road, so probably about 2.5 miles straight line.
Keep an eye on the road as well, watch any cars go to the car park.
Yeah. Okay. I think I know where the wolves are going to come from. There's a place called Dogs by Damon up in the top right-hand corner of the map, so they're bound to come from that direction.
Right, I'm going to try and get in this door.
Okay. Yeah, it's about 3.9 kilometers. It's about 2.3 miles as the crow flies directly across southeast from where where you are on top of the tower to where the inn is, and so you can definitely see the lights of Mary Tava. Tavi, sorry. In terms of getting into the building, give me a... Oh, you have done. Lockpick roll. Brilliant. Very easy. It's a standard roll. There is a click and the door opens.
Okay, so I'd like to go inside and we didn't look at the bell tower when we went in, did we? But I want to go look in the bell tower with my torch and make sure there's ladders going up to the top.
There is ladders going up to the top.
Fantastic. Right, I want to find the little boys' room or the main priest's little area, office.
So I would say the main priest room is probably that other little tower. So if you look at the map, the top of the church, based on its orientation, there's a tower. That one is maybe 2 stories high. The church, the bell tower, is probably 3 or 4 stories high. And I would say there's a secondary floor. There is probably a small spiral staircase that runs up to a door. And you suspect that the church, the reverend's office and storage is probably in there. There's also probably at least 1 floor in the bell tower that is also most likely storage.
Yeah.
Around, like an area around where the ropes come down through the centre. There's probably storage.
Is there any access to the bell tower from on top? Where I am?
There would be a hatch, yes.
Okay.
In a corner, because obviously in the middle you're going to be where the bells are.
Yeah.
So I will go straight up to the top first, and if there's a hatch, I want to make sure it's unlatched.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So you go all the way up to the top of the bell tower and unlatch the hatch. Not a problem. Mark.
And I'll have a little cheeky grin when I go up there because Mark's.
The sound of a latch being moved on the trapdoor.
Okay.
I'll give him a cheeky grin. So I can't believe he climbed up here. There's a ladder.
It's easy enough, climb.
Well done, mate.
The view up here is brilliant.
I'll take a moment to have a look around.
You notice in the distance there is a small mist starting to roll towards you. As the temperature dropped, only because the temperature's dropped, it's probably been quite a warm low 20s, and there's been moisture in the air. So as the temperature's dropping, that moisture's kind of coming up off the ground, forming a low level mist, probably maybe no more than 10-15 feet deep from the ground up. But obviously at the top of where you are, you can just see this
just forming
and coming towards you. Gradually all the buildings to the south are starting, the lights are starting to dim, and sort of they start to twinkle a bit more, and then they dim out as that mist kind of sits in between the two of you.
Okay, Mark, remember how fast that woman ran?
Yeah.
If she's coming from the east direction, she'll make the mist move. So it might be worth watching out for that.
Yeah, true.
I'm going to go back downstairs and climb inside the baptizing bowl and put the lid on the top.
Baptizing bowl, no problem.
I'm putting the lid on the top.
There is no lid.
No wooden lid?
No.
Buggers. I'll just swim from side to side. No, I won't. I'm going to go into the priest's quarter and see if I can find the birth and death register.
You have a pee in the fountain of life.
Yeah. No, I don't. Okay.
Oh. No, again, take samples.
I'm going to have a drink and say, Evian.
Yeah. The priest's office, his door at the top of the stairs is locked.
Okay, let's have a...
It's just like a standard Yale key. Nothing too finicky.
You should have said that. I'm going to probably ruin this now.
Nice.
Same roll.
With a snick, the door opens.
Okay, watching for anything on the floor, not to move anything. I'll move in.
There is a desk, a chair, a laptop computer with the lid down, a couple of filing cabinets, small door behind, that has a key in the door, frosted glass, and it just says storage on the frosted glass. And there's probably 3 or 4 bookcases with various biblical and various biblical books, as well as books on the area, like topical books on this part of the world.
Okay, let's go into storage.
Okay.
Because what I'm looking for is going to be old.
All right. You go into storage, and in here is, again, a bunch of those old metal filing cabinets. There's probably half a dozen, and then a couple of big piles of boxes and bits of paper.
Okay, I'm going to rummage through. I'm going to open the box and just have a look through it and see what's in there.
Give me a perception check, please. For a brief second, you thought you heard the sound of feet, footsteps, crunching or clipping on stone.
Okay. I'll mention it to Sam. Thought I heard someone walking on gravel.
Okay, I'm quietly going to retrace my steps back out the office, closing everything behind me, relocking the door, go to the front door. I'm going to try to lock that.
Okay. As you come out into the main part of the church, right at the very front of the church, sat staring at the altar with his back to you, is a figure.
Okay. Yes, my son, how can I help you?
Without turning, so your character's called Sam. Is that Samuel?
Yes.
And nobody ever calls you Sam?
Nobody ever calls me Samuel.
Other than your mother?
Yes, but I'm a big naughty.
Whenever you've been naughty? Yeah. Samuel McRae, it is a pleasure. Please, take a seat. Are you on open communications with Mark?
I'm hoping Mark's hearing this.
Yeah, Mark, yeah, you can hear you can hear the conversation. He's actually asked. No, he asks you. The figure says, "Are you on open communications with Mark?" Excellent. It is prudent that Mark remains on station. I think the hounds will come tonight. It is their time.
Who are you? Are you the one who's been sending those messages?
2 questions. Yes, I am they who have sent you those pointers. My boss is interested in your success. Sadly, he had not anticipated what would happen to Cassandra. That was unanticipated and unfortunate. We'd taken a lot of effort to steer her in a direction that would arrive at yourself and Mark as the most optimum individuals to solve my master's problem.
Which is?
You're not there. You're up in there. Is that what
I know.
You say over the headset? You go.
I say that over the headset to Sam.
And I'll repeat, which is?
My master concerned that his brother has been waylaid. My master woke just recently to discover that his lines of communication with his brother were no longer working and were no longer responsive.
Is his brother a 7-foot tall man who can turn into a dog?
I was thinking the same thing, but I wasn't saying it. Or is his brother called Jetheth?
My master's brother is known to prefer a winged form rather than a wolf form. No,
Right.
both are achievable by him.
That's okay. The reason your brother can't, your master can't communicate with his brother then is because his brother's been sedated. Yes, we know, because these people are using his blood to make super soldiers, in a sense.
Yes, that is what my master believes.
We saw him get captured at Mark. Refresh my memory.
I can't remember its name as well.
The circle of
Lebanon.
Lebanese circle. Your master was recaptured there after he escaped. Not your master's brother. Sorry.
Also,
I
in
fear
dog's
we are
form.
talking about different people. That is not my master's brother. And brother, he says, is somewhat figurative in this sense. They are perhaps of the same father. You asked the name of my master.
Please.
His name is Louis de Poindelac. Currently residing on floor 114 of the Burj Khalifa. Mark, in the distance you hear a howl.
Okay, I'll relay that.
Sounds like the hounds are coming.
Miles, then I have a few more moments.
What?
Follow the hounds.
Follow the hounds. Right. What? Who are we looking for? What's the master's brother called?
He goes by many names. The legends would have him known as Dracula. His real name was Vladimir.
Yeah, okay.
We felt, or at least Cassandra believed, that after she had stumbled upon the truth, that yes, vampires exist in your world and are not mere figments of the imagination, as I think you will find out this evening if you see this through. There are those who worked hard to remain in the shadows, much like my master, using his knowledge to gain a small but not insubstantial wealth. He has no real interest in politics, using his power to seduce or to corrupt, to control. He enjoys his life in Dubai, as you could imagine. There are those like Vlad who chose to, for many years, spend his time in pursuit of women, power, glory, fame.
Pleasure.
There are others like Marjorie who I believe you're coming to believe is a real person.
Yes, indeed.
Through solitude of many years, has become twisted, corrupted, and thoroughly evil. Then there are those in the British government and other governments, but many in the British government who chose to control my master's brother, succeeding perhaps when he originally arrived, though my master tells me he had escaped, though we cannot trace him, so we're not sure whether he has been retaken, whether he has decided to lay low, whether he's gone into an eternal slumber. But there are things happening in the world that my master believes would have some link to Vlad.
In the government, does the Lord Homewood have anything to do with this?
Interesting name.
Lord Godalming.
Godalming, yeah. It is not a name that I've been briefed about, so perhaps it is before my time.
It's just that his daughter, Lucy... No, was it Lucy? It wasn't.
No.
Daughter's not
Yeah.
Lucy.
Lucy Westerner.
It's not Tabitha.
Tabitha.
Oh, yeah. Tabitha, that's right.
Tabitha.
Lucy was the body.
Cassandra had flagged Tabitha to my master, suggesting that she was a person of interest with a connection into Romania. Drugs, orphans, drugs. My master believed that Tabitha is somebody that should be kept closely under watch, but not directly interfered with, for that may tip off the Romanian contingent, and not something you want to do just yet.
What would your master like us to do about Basingstoke?
Investigate.
Shut down, or?
If you are correct in that they have a source of blood, perhaps from my master's brother or other like him, then it would be wise to shut it down.
Okay. And what are we getting out of this?
He smiles.
We've spent a lot of money.
He kind of looks at you, and he's clearly Arabic. He's got the beard, very tight, very well manicured beard. He's got very piercing blue eyes, probably bluer than they should be. And when he smiles at you, his teeth are perfectly white. And you notice as well, he's perfectly manicured. He's probably in an Armani suit with a very, very well pressed, light blue, kind of cornflower blue shirt. Very shiny black shoes. But he gives off this air of power, this air of strength, but not in a menacing way. You don't feel that he is threatening you. You do get the sense that he would definitely be
a handful.
If you wanted to, if you tried to pull a knife on him or something. You're not sure how he'd do with guns. There is that thing about him, the way he moves, the way he looks, the way he's taken in his surroundings.
Very confident.
He is very confident. My master doesn't wish any more attention to be brought upon us. It seems that there are factions in the UK government that are aware of my master. He starts to say our, and then he pauses. My master's kind, and it would be remiss if they were allowed to continue their avenue of investigation. All my master wishes is that him and his kind are left alone. There is a small price that is paid if you do that. The odd homeless person will go missing. The odd just kind of tails off. There is always collateral damage in keeping the peace.
No, I understand that.
The government have successfully created this super serum, as you suggested, and they start to give that to the masses, that the army, that super serum falls into the hand of the jihadists or the extremists, that you will see a rise of factions, much like in World War II.
Mm.
The Russians, the Chinese, the Americans would all over backwards to try and obtain this. Assuming they already have it.
I was going to say, I've seen what it can do, and that in the wrong hands should not be.
Indeed. And you said what is in it for you. I could play on the Queen and Country.
That's carried us so far, but you know, it's one of those things where we're doing things that we could be classed as terrorists.
I could remind you of your oath to protect Queen and Country.
Mm-hmm.
Play on your heartstrings to say, think about your loved ones and the damage that it could do to them. Or I could simply play, my master is more than happy to play on your purse strings. And with that, he goes into his jacket pocket and he pulls out a couple of envelopes and he hands them to you. And one of them's got very, very elegant silver pen writing with Samuel McRae on it, which is, you know, odd because nobody calls you Sam.
No.
And the other one says Mark Silvers.
Well, thank you for your candidness. So, what was your name? Sorry, I didn't get your name.
He smiles. You didn't. Just call me
Hopkins.
Hopkins.
I was going to say we have been talking, so it would be nice to have.
What are we supposed to do if we find Vladimir, his brother? Isn't that who he's looking for?
My master is unsure whether Vladimir is willing or unwilling in this. If he is unwilling, free him. Explain to him that it was that my master sent you to free him, and hopefully that will stay his hand.
That's what's worrying me.
If you definitely believe that is the case, then I'm sure my master can get you word that you would be able to use with Vlad to have him stay his hand. If, on the other hand, he is a willing accomplice in this, then my master isn't partial to how you deal with him. But he would
Understood. Yeah.
You may wonder why my master himself is not willing to, shall we say, step into the limelight, step into the spotlight for this. He has spent, apart from a brief interview, the last 200 years keeping things quiet, keeping out of the light, trying to ensure that...
I just got where you got the name from. It just clicked when you said interview.
Yeah.
There we go. Tom Cruise, mother.
Have you... I'll just pause for a second. Have you seen the TV series?
No, is it good?
Oh, man. It's the...
I couldn't...
Go on, Kath, sorry.
I saw the first episode. I just couldn't get into it.
You have to get past the first episode. It's really hard. I agree. It's so hard. The first couple of episodes were like, I can't watch this, I can't watch this. Then I got to like episode 3, and then I was like, I've got to watch this to the end. And the very last episode is phenomenal.
See, I
The
tried
film was
the
awesome.
spin-off series as well with the Dario. Oh, what's her name? She's the witch thing, which is supposed to be tied in with it, and I couldn't get into that either.
Yeah, no, the interview with the Vampire TV series was really, it was very hard to get going, but was actually very good at the end. And at the end, this is where this comes from. They meet him in a skyscraper in Dubai, and one of his first comments is, "How do you survive here?" And you watch as like the servant presses the button and all the windows black out so the sun doesn't come through.
Awesome.
It's absolutely brilliant. So he basically explains that, you know, it would be in best interest for my master for word not to get out that they exist, and therefore if Dracula Vladimir is indeed actually involved by choice, then he suggests you take him down. Though he does say that will be a very difficult task.
Understood. Can you get a list of names in the government who you are on your watch list, who you suspect to be involved, just so we can keep an eye on them as well, please? We don't want to be doing old work that Cassandra's done.
He shakes his head. He says, "Very sorry, but Cassandra was only able to identify." Where's my book? 1 second.
So if I've got Vladimir and Marjorie's name.
That's my last question is Marjorie still alive? Where is she?
Well, yeah, you just said that she's evil, so so I've got her down as, yeah, she's a target. Vladimir's a potential, depending on what he's up to.
Try and save him.
Yeah, but then we've got the hound that's just been captured. Don't know who that is. We've got all these hounds here, and we've got the woman that's escaped. So that's
the hounds, by the way, are getting closer.
Yeah.
You
so
can hear them.
We've got another 8.
Yeah.
Let's hope these can't.
Did he say? Did he say follow the hounds?
Yeah. How the hell am I supposed to do that? I don't know. I haven't got a tracking bullet.
That would have been nice. That.
Yeah.
Have you checked your bat thingy? Your little belt.
Well, he said that his master prefers to be a winged form. If all these dogs suddenly sprout wings, I'm screwed.
Yeah, you are.
I'm inside a church with this vampire.
I'm edging towards the trapdoor.
It doesn't seem to be working until he's sat here.
Sorry, I have completely lost my page. Page 50. There we go. Page 50.
So all along we've been working for a vampire. Wonderful.
He says to you that he only has the name Elah, E-L-A-H. He believes that the individual referred to that Duke, such Duke Elah, is somehow linked to the UK government, but in what capacity he doesn't know. The hardest thing, he said, is that they found is not being able to break Edom.
Understood.
And Cassandra was following up some alternative lines of inquiry when she decided to finally contact you two.
So we've got Duke Ela and Duke Jetheth so far as two of the dukes. Are they vampires or are they human?
As best we can find out, he says, at the minimum, they are what my master refers to as Renfields.
Oh, I know this one. So they are powerful servants.
He nods.
Of a vampire.
He smiles. He says, "You have been very open.
I watch a lot of films.
I feel that
You've seen some crazy shit.
have not kept. I have kept things from you that my master did not expressly forbid me to talk to you about. So I shall let you know that I am called Ibn Farhad."
Ibn Fahad, nice to meet you. Are you a vampire as well?
He's a Renfield.
I am much like the Duke.
Ah. So still very powerful in your own right.
He shrugs. Compared to my master, I am nothing. Without my master, I am nothing. Now, there are a few things that my master asked me to tell you. Firstly, beyond the occasional meet in quiet places like this, I am not allowed to interfere. If there is crucial information that you wish to pass on to my master, things that you wish to seek his advice on, then send an email to hopkins@telia.ze. Should we get email to that address that we deem to be of a suspicious or compromising nature, the email address will be shut down and your ability to communicate with me, and therefore the master, will be revoked. Guard that email address with your life. Second, my master has told me that he is unable to supply you with any, and he kind of looks at you both and smiles, ordnance.
Ah,
You
didn't
need
my
to
questions.
pick such things that you require with your own expertise, knowledge, and contacts. Likewise, identities, passports, my master is not able to help.
Understood.
However, in recognition of the danger that you are placing yourselves under, I hope the contents of those envelopes will be satisfactory and acceptable. And you could consider it, therefore, an offer of employment under for my master.
Thank you very much, Evan.
Now, gentlemen, I believe the hounds are close.
Before you go, do you know anything of these worms that are turning them? Is this an actual thing, or is this something that they've developed?
It is very possible that the worms resided in the soil that Vladimir himself rested in, perhaps even bled in. that the worms were then somehow transformed by the presence of Vladimir or those of my master's kind to be carriers of, shall we call it, a virus.
So we're able to destroy these on site if we find them.
Yes.
Okay.
Stamping on them, exploding them, hitting them with ultraviolet light, exposing them to the sunshine, exposing them to fire, the usual things. Just don't let them bite you.
Understood. Is there anything from the histories that isn't true that we need to know about?
As you can see, churches, no effect. Crucifixes, crosses, holy water, no real effect.
How about running water?
Some, not all.
Right.
Sunlight definitely hurts many, not all. Silver definitely hurts. Though a good rowan or ash stake will hurt even more. Staking us in the heart will slow us down, put us into a comatose state, but not necessarily destroys us. Removing our head, just like you.
No, head is dead.
Yes. Strength, speed, seduction, hypnotism, changing form, all possible. Some more than others. At that point, he kind of stands and he immediately, he bows his head to the altar, makes a gesture of the cross, spectacles, testicles, wallet, and watch, nods to you both, glides out. I mean,
Glides, but it looks like he's gliding.
Glides.
Awesome.
It's almost like, you're not sure if his feet are touching the floor as he kind of walks out.
Before you go, shall we kill these wolves or just follow them?
As you ask that, as he's walking, he simply says, you will need to deal with them at some point. Follow their trail or follow them.
Understood. And thank you.
It will be safer.
Outside, the moon, well, I was going to say the moon is full, but it's not. That's in like 5 days' time. It is a waxing gibbous moon. What the hell does that look like? Neil Armstrong. Okay, I have no idea what that means. Oh yeah, it's a 3/4. No, it's a 1/4 full crescent moon.
Goes from half to full.
Oh, waxing gibbous. No, it's a 3/4 lit moon with the dark crescent on one side. Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And what's interesting, as from where your vantage point, you're kind of watching and listening to the conversation. For a brief second, a bat kind of flies up and around you, kind of a couple of times, and then kind of just flutters off down the back of the steep escarpment, and you kind of lose it in the mist. The mist is starting to decline, and it's kind of rising up probably 2/3 of the level of the church itself. And then seemingly, as you kind of, you watch the bat disappear, and then you kind of drag your attention back as you hear a howl in the distance. And then out from the You won't see any of this because you're on the wrong map. Let's get you to here. So let me just shove you on the map.
Well, once he's out the door, I'm going to be locking it.
Okay.
The bat's normal size, is it? It's not bigger than normal.
No, it's just a normal.
Does it have a gruff voice? He goes, "I'm Batman."
It would be something like a pipistrelle bat, something like that. So a typical English bat doesn't look, the kind that would not look out of place.
Yeah. Okay, that's weird. I'm on the map twice.
You are on the map twice, but it's because I dragged you on the map twice because I didn't bring Sam, who's inside, onto the map.
I just refreshed it thinking this. I was bugged. Right, okay.
Sam is inside. So you're up on the tower. Out from the sort of the tree line edge of the tor, you see a fairly large black dog. There seems to be some kind of mist kind of rising off the creature's body, almost as if it's like a cold night and it's
sweat
a lot and it's sweating. Piercing yellow eyes, not red like the Reverend had said. And it kind of lopes up to the top of the mound and then stops as soon as it gets to that stone path.
The circle. Yeah.
Okay.
And gents, we're going to stop there for the night because if you start a fight, we're going to be here for hours.
Wow.
But a second one, and then round the back, a third one, and then up past the open area where the gravestones are, two more appear. And it seems from where you are that you are surrounded on the three easy to climb sides of the tor by these huge black wolf-like dogs.
Good job we brought the grenades.
With yellowish eyes.
That was fantastic, thank you.
And that is where we will leave it this evening. Hope you enjoyed tonight.
Absolutely brilliant.
For once, you did exactly what I was hoping you would do.
Yay!
Exactly where I was hoping you would get.
See.
And he gave me all the answers I was hoping for. Or needing.
Yep.
That's really, really good.
So did you get the name only after I said the interview? Or did you know it beforehand?
I'd recognised the name, but I couldn't think where from.
Yeah.
Until you.
That's exactly what I was like. I was like, oh yeah.
But yeah, by my count, we've got a lot of vampires in this country that aren't on our side.
Need to invest in some ash.
5, 6. So there's at least 7 I can think of. Possibly 9 if the 2 that got bitten trying to subdue the dog turn.
They might be just blood banks now.
Possibly. But one of them's a rogue.
So the other thing you got to worry about, Kath, is the fact that they're blood banks for the soldiers that work for Edom.
Yeah.
A little bit of vamp juice gets them going.
So just so you know, I haven't decided what Dracula's involvement is yet. I don't know what side of the fence he's on. We'll find out as the story evolves.
Is that interesting? Anybody seen the film Renfield?
I haven't. No.
With Nicolas Cage. It's very good. Well, I enjoyed it anyway. Yeah.
No. We know Marjorie's evil though, because
he told us, yeah. she's kept herself in solitude for that long, you'd drive you mad anyway, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Yep. And if you have, I presume you've both at least tried to read the story.
Mm-hmm.
I've read the general gist of what it is. I've not read the book.
So she starts off old. The more she feeds, the younger she gets. But she drains her life force and turns the other person old.
Yeah.
Yeah. So bear that in mind, because that is exactly the case with this Marjorie. So if/when you meet her, you'll be able to figure a few things out. I mean, you've got a couple of clues. One of the words is a clue.
We've got Mark, and he's like, what's it called? A thingy vampire, an emotional vampire. What's it called? I can't remember what it's called. Give me a second, I'll find out for you. An energy vampire. That's what I was looking for. Mark will suck the energy out of anybody. Have you seen What We Do in the Shadows?
No.
Oh, you're going to watch that.
No.
Seriously, you've not seen What We Do in the Shadows, the film or the TV show?
No.
Get it watched.
I don't watch it a lot.
It's a documentary. It's a fly-in-the-wall documentary about a house full of vampires.
Right.
With Taika Waititi and some really, really funny people.
Well, funny enough, the books I'm reading at the moment, it's a sci-fi. And this alien race are effectively magic vampires. The vampires that can cast spells, and a secret organization that can drain magic out of people with their fangs, type of thing. But it's this kid that, and how he's been trained along with a whole class of others into becoming these ultimate assassins that everyone's scared of. But it's all aliens and sci-fi and magic instead of technology.
It's not a life force then.
No. It's called the Book of Bawb, Bawb. The series. It's actually quite good. I've just started the latest one that came out yesterday. Actually, I came out today.
I've got. Where am I? I am up to Snake Eyes.